followed my wife one night, and what I saw destroyed everything I thought I knew about our marriage. But here's the thing nobody tells you about catching your spouse cheating. The affair wasn't even the worst part. What came after the lies, the manipulation, the person she became when cornered, that's what truly broke me. Beat, this is that story. And if you're watching this because you have that gut feeling something's wrong, trust it, because I ignored mine for months. And it cost me everything. I never imagined I would become the kind of husband who follows his own wife. If someone had told me a year ago that I'd be sitting in my car at 11:47 p.m., parked across the street from a dimly lit cafe, watching my wife through a foggy windshield smeared with rain, I would have laughed in their face, called them paranoid, told them to get a grip. But life has a cruel way of turning ordinary people into shadows of themselves, into detectives chasing ghosts in the night. My name is Armin. I'm 34 years old, married for 7 years to Sara, the woman I thought was my forever. We met in college. She was the girl with the infectious laugh, the one who could light up a room just by walking in. I was the quiet engineering student, buried in textbooks. She pulled me out of my shell. Our first date was a disaster, spilled coffee, awkward silences, but we laughed about it for years. We built a life together, a cozy apartment that turned into a house, dreams of kids someday, vacations to the beach where we'd watch sunsets, her head on my shoulder. She used to call me 5 times a day just to check if I'd eaten lunch, to say she loved me. Then, slowly, like a crack spreading across ice, things changed. At first, it was subtle. Tiny shifts you try to brush off as nothing. But I started keeping evidence. Screenshots, receipts, timestamps. A whole folder on my phone I never thought I'd need. Because deep down, I knew something was coming. Something that would make me grateful I'd been paying attention. And when the truth finally came out, that folder became my lifeline, my proof I wasn't crazy. Let me show you how it started. Her phone started buzzing more often. She added a password, something she'd never done before. She began taking it everywhere, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, even to bed, tucked under her pillow. She'd laugh at messages, her face glowing from the screen. But when I'd ask, "What's so funny?" she'd lock it quickly and say, "Oh, just a meme from work." That word became a shadow over everything. She started working late more often, coming home after 9 p.m., smelling of unfamiliar perfume, sharp, floral, not the soft vanilla she always wore. New clothes appeared in her closet, sleek dresses, lingerie I hadn't bought her. She said it was for feeling confident at the office. I wanted to believe her. God, I tried. I told myself marriages go through phases, that after 7 years, things get routine, that I was overthinking because work stress was getting to me. But deep inside, a quiet voice, that gut instinct we all ignore at our peril, kept whispering, Something is wrong. Something is terribly, horribly wrong. The doubts built like storm clouds. One night, I found a receipt in her purse dinner for two at a restaurant downtown. She said it was with a client, but the date was a Tuesday. A night she told me she was at yoga. Another time, her phone rang while she was in the shower. I glanced at the screen. Mark work. I didn't answer. But when she came out, towel wrapped, she saw the missed call and her face paled just a fraction. She deleted the log right there. I pretended not to notice. The lies piled up. Small ones at first, then bigger. Our intimacy faded. She'd turn away in bed, claiming headaches or exhaustion. I felt like a stranger in my own home, like I was losing her piece by piece. I confronted her once, gently, over dinner. "Babe, is everything okay? You seem distant." She smiled, that same smile that used to melt me. But now, it didn't reach her eyes. "I'm fine, Armin, just stressed at work. I love you." She kissed me, but it felt hollow, like an echo of what we used to be. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, heart aching, wondering if I was going crazy, or if my world was crumbling. The night everything shattered started like any other. But before I tell you about following her, I need to tell you about the phone call. The one decision that confirmed I wasn't paranoid. That gave me the courage to get in my car, because without that call, I might have just sat at home, believing her lies, waiting like a fool. This phone call saved my life. Let me explain. I came home from work around 7 p.m., bone tired from a long day at the site. Sara was already dressed. Black dress hugging her curves. Makeup flawless. Heels I hadn't seen before. She was putting on earrings, diamond studs I'd given her for our anniversary. "I'm going out with a friend from college," she said casually, not meeting my eyes in the mirror. "Just a girls' night. Catch up and gossip." That smile again. Forced. "Which friend?" I asked, trying to sound nonchalant as I hung up my jacket. "Lina," she replied, a beat too quickly. Lina. The name rang false. Lina lived across town. They hadn't spoken in months, at least. That's what Sara had told me last time. I nodded. Didn't argue. Didn't accuse. But something in my chest twisted, a heavy knot of dread. She kissed me on the cheek, lips cool, distant, grabbed her purse, and left. I stood alone in the living room, listening to the click of her heels down the hallway, the door shutting, her car engine revving to life, the sound fading into the night. For 10 agonizing minutes, I paced, mind racing, heart pounding. Then I did something I'd never done before. I grabbed my phone, scrolled to Lina's number. We'd exchanged it years ago for a surprise party. My hands shook as I dialed. It rang 4 times. "Hello? Lina, hi, it's Armin, Sara's husband." "Oh, hey, is everything okay?" Her voice was bright, confused, not the voice of someone expecting to meet up. "Yeah, just wondering. Sara just left to meet you. I wanted to know if you guys needed me to pick anything up. Wine, snacks, silence. Long, painful. Armin, I'm not in town. I'm in Portland. We haven't talked in maybe 3 months. The world stopped spinning. You're not meeting her tonight. No. Is Sara okay? Did something happen? I couldn't breathe. My mistake. Wrong friend. Thanks, Lina. I hung up, stared at the phone, and just like that, every doubt crystallized into certainty. She lied directly to my face about where she was going, who she was seeing. The voice in my head screamed louder. You need to know. Before I could talk myself out of it, I grabbed my keys, slipped on a hoodie, and followed her. I waited just long enough, 10 minutes, to not be obvious. Then I took my car, headlights off at first, and drove in the direction she'd gone. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. Sweat beaded on my forehead, despite the cool night air. I kept telling myself I was insane, that I'd end up at Lina's house, feeling like a fool, apologizing tomorrow with flowers. But I needed the truth, whatever it cost. 10 minutes later, I spotted her taillights, red glow in the darkness. She wasn't heading toward Lina's neighborhood, not even close. She turned left toward the highway, away from the city center. My pulse thundered in my ears. Where are you going, Sara? Who are you meeting? I kept a safe distance, 2 cars between us, praying she wouldn't notice. The city lights faded. Suburbs gave way to quieter roads. My mind spun with worst-case scenarios. An old flame, a coworker, someone from online. Each thought stabbed deeper. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, 20 minutes of tailing, she pulled into a small parking lot, a quiet café near the highway. Neon sign flickering. Joe's Diner open late. A place we'd never been, never even mentioned. I parked across the street, in the shadows of a closed gas station. Engine off, lights out, and watched. The rain started then, a light drizzle pattering on my roof, blurring the view. But I saw him. A man stepped out from under the cafe's awning the moment she arrived. And before I tell you what happened next, I need you to understand something. There are hugs between friends, polite, brief, appropriate. And then there are hugs between people who are more than friends, the kind where time stops, where hands linger, where faces press into necks, the kind of hug that tells you everything without a single word. What I witnessed wasn't a friendly hello. It was intimacy. It was comfort. It was home. And in that moment, sitting in my car, watching my wife embrace another man in the rain, I realized she'd found home in someone else. This is what I saw. Tall, dark hair, dressed sharp button-down shirt, jeans. He smiled when he saw her car. Too warmly, too intimately. Sara got out, umbrella forgotten in her haste. She ran through the rain to him, and he caught her, arms wrapping around her, her face buried in his shoulder, his hand on her back, the kind that lingers. Time stopped. My world went silent, except for the rain and my ragged breathing fogging the windows. I wiped the glass with my sleeve, watched them go inside, sit at a corner booth, away from the windows, but I could see enough. The way she leaned in, touched his arm while talking, laughed head thrown back, genuine joy I hadn't seen in months. Every gesture a betrayal, a knife twist. For 20 minutes, I sat frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe properly. I wanted to storm in, scream, demand answers, flip tables, but terror held me back. Terror of confirming it, of hearing the words, of seeing her choose him. My phone buzzed, jolting me. A message from Sara. Girls' night is fun. Going to be late. Don't wait up. Love you. Read, I stared at the screen, disbelief crashing over me. She was lying, right there, 10 meters away, typing that while laughing with him. The emoji mocked me. That broke something, the last thread of denial. I wiped my eyes. When had I started crying? And stepped out of the car. Rain soaked me instantly, cold drops on my skin, but I didn't feel it. My legs felt heavy, like wading through water, each step toward the cafe unreal, like a nightmare I couldn't wake from. The bell above the door jingled as I pushed it open. Warm air hit me, smell of coffee, fries, old vinyl seats. A few late-night patrons glanced up, but my eyes locked on them. Sara looked up first, her laugh dying mid-note, color draining from her face, eyes wide with shock, horror. Armin, her voice a whisper, cracked. The man beside her turned, confused, frowning. "Who's this?" he asked her. For a few seconds, the world hung suspended. No one spoke. The rain drummed on the windows. A waitress poured coffee somewhere behind me. I broke the silence. "I thought you were with Lina." My voice steady, calmer than I felt. Sara stood up quickly, chair scraping loud. "Babe, I can explain." Those words, the cliché of every cheater caught red-handed, the most terrifying words in any marriage. The man shifted uncomfortably, looked between us. "I'm Mark," he said awkwardly, extending a hand I ignored. "Just a friend from work." His nervous eyes told a different story. Liar. I didn't shout, didn't cause a scene. The rage was there boiling under the surface, but I held it. For now, I looked at my wife, the woman I'd vowed to love forever, and asked the question burning in my soul. "How long, Sara?" Tears filled her eyes, spilled over. She glanced at Mark, back to me. That silence. It was the real answer, longer than I wanted to know. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Mark stood, mumbled something about leaving us to talk, brushed past me, door jingling behind him. Gone. We stood there, in the middle of the cafe, strangers staring, but I didn't care. "Outside," I said, voice low. She nodded, followed me into the rain. We stood under the awning, water pouring off the edges, like a curtain around us. "Tell me everything," I demanded. "No more lies." She sobbed, hugged herself. It started 3 months ago. 3 months. 90 days of deception. Of her coming home to me after. I felt sick. It was just talking at first, she continued. Work stress. He listened. Mark. From her office. The name on the phone. The receipt. The late nights. Then coffee meetings. Feelings developed. I didn't mean for it to happen. The same old story. The excuse every betrayer clings to. As if that made it hurt less. Didn't mean anything, I echoed, bitter laugh escaping me. If it meant nothing, why risk everything? Why lie to my face every day? She cried harder, reached for my arm. I pulled away. Don't. The rain intensified, matching the storm inside me. I love you, Armin. I do. This was a mistake. A stupid, stupid mistake. I wanted to believe her. Part of me, the part that remembered our wedding vows, our lazy Sundays, our dreams ached to forgive, to pull her close, say we could fix it. But the other part, the broken trust, it screamed no. You destroyed us, I said, voice breaking now. For what? Coffee and feelings. She had no answer, just tears. That drive home was the longest of my life. We took separate cars, me leading, her following. At home, we sat in the living room, and she told me more, but she didn't tell me everything, because 3 days later, I found her old phone, the one she'd broken and replaced 2 months ago. Except it wasn't broken. It was hidden in a shoebox in the back of her closet. And when I charged it, when I saw what was on there, that's when I realized the affair was just the surface. The lies went so much deeper than I could have imagined. Let me tell you what I found. Like strangers in a waiting room, lights dim, clock ticking, and the full truth poured out. It wasn't just emotional. They'd slept together. Twice, in a hotel. The details hit like punches. I wanted to vomit, to rage, to break something, but I listened. Numb. She apologized over and over, said she'd end it. Block him. Go to therapy. Anything to save us. I can't lose you, she begged, kneeling in front of me, hands on my knees, but her touch felt foreign, tainted. I didn't respond, just stared at the wall, memories flashing. Our first kiss, her in white on our wedding day, the miscarriage 2 years ago, how we'd held each other through the grief. Had that all been real? Or was this the truth, the hidden side? That night, I slept on the couch, or tried to. Dawn broke gray and cold, like my heart. The next days blurred. We talked, cried, yelled. I called in sick to work. She did too. I demanded her phone. Read the messages, heart emojis. I miss you. Last night was amazing, each one a fresh wound. I made her block him, delete everything in front of me. She did, tears streaming, but the damage was done. Trust shattered like glass, impossible to piece back. We tried counseling, one session. The therapist asked if we wanted to rebuild. Sara said yes, desperately. I said I didn't know. Weeks turned to months. The house felt haunted by what we used to be. I couldn't look at her without seeing them together, laughing, touching. The pain ate at me. Sleepless nights, weight loss. Friends noticed. I confided in one, my brother. He said what I needed to hear. You deserve better. She chose this. Walk away. It took time, too much time. But one morning I woke up, looked at her sleeping, and felt nothing. No love, no hate, just emptiness. That's when I knew it was over. I filed for divorce. Quietly, no big fight. She begged, promised change. But promises from a liar mean nothing. The process was hell, dividing assets, selling the house, friends picking sides, her family calling me heartless. But I held firm. For the first time in months, I chose me. Now, 6 months later, I'm in a new apartment, small, but mine. I've started dating casually, rediscovering who I am without her. The pain fades, a little each day. Some nights, it hits. The what ifs. What if I'd confronted sooner? What if she'd never strayed? But mostly, I'm grateful. Grateful I followed her that night, because it didn't break my heart. It revealed it was already broken and forced me to heal. If you're listening and you feel that gut twist, that quiet voice whispering doubts, listen to it. Trust your instincts, because the worst truth is still better than a comfortable lie. And on the other side, freedom, a chance to rebuild stronger, wiser. I'm finally free. And damn, it feels good.